Hey everyone, we're coming to you live from Las Vegas. This is Cataloging Cocktails.
Special episode.
Juan, yep. We're at the ServiceNow Knowledge Conference 2025, and we're super excited to now let the world know that Data.World is being acquired by ServiceNow.
So, surprise! Here we are. Super excited. It's great to be here.
Yep.
Just for people who are wondering, like, where did this happen? Well, look, if you look about it, ServiceNow has this amazing vision of being the control tower for data, for AI, for workflows, and well, Data.World brings in that opportunity to be in the control tower for data. And then, hey, we're talking about AI agents. We've all been talking about agents and how we know that this stuff needs context. Context. That's knowledge, that's semantics, what we've been talking about all the time. That's what Data.World does. And also, we want to treat data as a product. We want to treat data to be that strategic asset in an enterprise. You need end-to-end governance, and that's what Data.World brings. So that's why we are really excited about being able to join forces here. And I know people have much questions. More information, more news to come. So thank you for everybody who's been following us. And super excited.
In the meantime, we're just excited to be on this journey, and what a cool place to combine forces with data plus AI plus workflows. I think it's very exciting. So more to come on that front. We actually just got here late yesterday because Juan and I were actually at the Data Governance and Information Quality Conference, DGIQ. This year actually it was combined with Enterprise Data World, and that was over in Anaheim, California. And we actually gave a talk. We gave a talk yesterday on data products and the honest, no BS, what are data products and how do you govern them? How do you manage them? And overall, it was a really great discussion. We talked about how data products are the combination of data assets which are governed, which are reusable, which are consumable, and which are valuable to end users. And so really got to walk through that, pitfalls, best practices, and also give some customer examples in terms of like who's actually doing this, from trying to create reusable data assets to trying to create a data mesh infrastructure, really shifting left responsibility. Also just, hey, I've got dashboards and we want to reuse those dashboards. Let's not be pedantic about data products. It can be a dashboard as long as it's reusable and repeatable.
And I think a lot of what we were calling out, which was well received, is like, don't make it so complicated. Like, we need to make it simple. I think we saw kind of like, we're describing like 3 types of opportunities. It's like companies who are actually producing the data and consuming their own data. And those are the ones who actually have a DNA of building software and stuff, and they can actually truly push left around that stuff. And let's say they can think about it in the more complicated way, but because they actually have that DNA of engineering. Well, there's other people who are like, I just consume the data however it comes from, so therefore I am going to just create these reusable data assets. And then there are the ones who are like, oh, I'm really thinking about data as new revenue opportunities and be really truly innovative. So really kind of help figure out where you are in that kind of in that type of organization, and then in what maturity level you are, because I think you got to start really simple. Even we talked a lot about the roles of data product managers and data stewards. We will have a big post about this coming out soon. So we recorded the conversation, and we'll be able to write a post about that.
Yeah, the slides are great, so we'll make sure you guys get all access to that content. Just in terms of the overall conference at DGIQ, even though we were only there for a short period of time, there were definitely 2 kind of categories of content. One of them was much more around kind of your tried and true, needs around governance and data management. And so, there were sessions on stewardship, there were sessions on, governance frameworks and governance councils, real world application of trying to manage your data better. But then there was also conversations around Gen AI, right? Obviously, that's the elephant in the room that everybody's talking about. But most of the conversations around AI centered around AI readiness and kind of governance to support kind of the age-old kind of like garbage in, garbage out. Whether you agree with that or not, actually, Malcolm had a good
platitude.
It's kind of
an ordinary truth,
but it has meaning, right? It has value just to say, hey, garbage in, garbage out. You got to have the right foundations, yada yada, right?
Yeah.
But people were talking about how do we do that? How do we have those good foundations? But there were some topics not being talked about, right?
So, for example, we're here at Knowledge 2025 ServiceNow conference where everything's about AI agents, and they're actually implementing this. There were 0 conversations about agents and data governance. And this is something that I'm now curious, but I'm also kind of concerned. And I think about the data governance professionals, like this is the opportunity. We talk about data governance being the enabler. Like the data governance professionals need to be at the forefront when it comes to all of this AI technology, not just to govern and make sure that bad things don't happen, but let's make sure that they enable and good things happen. And they need to be in this conversation about agents and being able to go deploy them and how you're going to do that, not just about governing them and creating like the lineage of that. Because I think we're seeing that already happening. It's kind of like taking the same tools that we do for data governance, but applying them those same things for HR, which again, you should be doing that, but there's more conversations that we need to be having around it.
Yeah, so we've got more to discuss as a governance community, as a data management community around how do we, how do we manage these AI agents?
Help implement them.
Help implement them.
Because they need the context.
Make sure that they're providing value, perhaps treating them like a product, an AI product, right? And really making sure that we understand how they connect with each other and how they connect with your data, right? That lineage.
Yeah. So there's really think about the opportunity. So a couple extra shout outs here. I really appreciated a talk by Jessica and Maria Alejandra that there was they called the 400 bunnies. Go look up their talk. Go reach out to them on LinkedIn. We'll have them soon on the podcast. I just loved how they presented a very practical, their framework of how they were doing, kind of building AI-ready data, the iterations they went through. It was a truly honest, no BS conversation around that, how they actually did that. And then another one I went to about the EU Data Act. I went there a little bit skeptical of the act. I'm trying to go learn more, but what was interesting is that there are folks who are seeing this as an opportunity of like, if not only do I have to you sell your product, but I have to go deal with this stuff with data. But now I'm packaging data inside of my true product that I'm selling. That is an opportunity. So not only do I have to like satisfy all these regulations, but like, hey, if I really have to go release this data, there's an opportunity to do more with that data. So if you look at GDPR, it was really much about kind of regulations and control and protective. The EU Data Act is that, and also a huge opportunity on like we can go make some value generation here. So that's an opportunity that I saw. So I think I'm really hoping now that this regulation is going to help drive more opportunity, not just the regulation.
Maybe more opportunity than we saw with like GDPR, which felt like much more of a punitive type of framework. So, well, lots of opportunities here. By the way, if you guys aren't going to the DGIQ conference, you're missing out. Anybody interested in data governance and broader data management, it's definitely a must-go-to conference.
Congratulations to the entire Dataversity, Tony, to the entire team, Shannon. Like you all organized a heck of an amazing conference. We're really excited to be there twice a year because they do it twice a year, one in the East and the West. So shout out, thank you all for that. And we're here, so we're in LA Anaheim yesterday. We're in Vegas today.
Yeah, and next week
we'll be in Gartner, London.
And so we'll be talking with a bunch of folks out there. Actually, Rebecca O'Kill, who's the CDAO of Axis Capital, is going to be co-presenting with us on Monday at Gartner London. So for those that are in the London area and going to Gartner London, definitely come stop by and say hi. That'll be a must-see talk. And we'll actually be doing a Catalog and Cocktails episode on site next week as part of that Gartner London conference, celebrating our 5 year anniversary at Catalog and Cocktails.
In London, we are going to have our very informal happy hour Wednesday, probably 5:30 p.m. at the Coke d'Argent, famous, really cool rooftop, fingers crossed with the rain, near Bank Station. Everybody just join us over there. It was in London. And before that, we'll be recording the podcast with Rebecca, summarizing also our takeaways from Gartner, and celebrating 5 years. Thanks to you all who listen to us.
Yep, Rebecca will be with us for the podcast, which will be awesome. Come join us for a cocktail or a mocktail. And once again, we're hanging out here at the Data Analytics booth at the ServiceNow Knowledge Conference. Very excited about everything that's to come here. And thank you to all of you for being a part of this community, for welcoming us, for engaging with this podcast where we basically get to drink cocktails and talk to smart people in a bit and share those insights with you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll have a longer episode for you next week.